welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a short review about Bayonetta 2 for the Wii U. Now, there's a few things I'd like to mention before I start talking about Bayonetta 2, because up until recently I hadn't actually ever played Bayonetta, the Bayonetta series at all, and so I was talked into buying the collector's edition, which over here in the EU includes a physical copy of Bayonetta 1 and Bayonetta 2. Because I hadn't played the first game, I wanted to play through the first to get an idea of what the story was like, what the characters are like, and to be honest, even after completing the game, I had no idea what the fuck was going on. And to be honest, I didn't really care, I just really had fun playing the game. Now, Bayonetta 2's story. It's about a witch called Bayonetta, obviously, who, to be honest, kicks ass. There's no other word for it, she kicks ass. Now, her enemies in the game are, well, they're angels, but you wouldn't have thought they were angels by looking at them. They are pretty interesting. Not how I would have imagined angels to be anyway. Weird winged creatures with baby faces that just creep me the hell out. However, angels nonetheless. Bayonetta is on a journey to save her friend who was taken to hell, and in the process comes across a child with strange powers. This child plays a big part in the story, but I don't want to go into too much detail about it because I don't want to spoil it for anybody. To be honest, my first impressions were, man, this game looks awesome on the Wii U engine. However, there was one thing I did prefer over Bayonetta 1 to Bayonetta 2, and that was actually the character model of Bayonetta. I don't know, I think I just preferred the longer hair. It just suited her a lot better than short, but each to their own, I guess. This game plays really well and just looks fantastic. The game starts off in normal Bayonetta fashion with the calm before the storm. Only a few minutes into the game, you're on a jet thrown into the action straight away. And this is one thing I do like about the Bayonetta games. It doesn't hold your hand too much. It gives you just enough information to play the game, but leaves you to learn things out by yourself. That's one thing I do really like about this game. The mechanics in the game are fantastic and better than the original, even though that is pretty hard to beat. It doesn't really consist of complicated moves. It's basically just punching and kicking in the right order to pull out some fancy moves with a little bit of timing involved to make Bayonetta pull off some other fancy moves. But this doesn't make this bad. It just makes you feel like a boss pulling off these giant moves with witch time, which is another mechanic in the game, by the way. This is what I will go on to talk about next. Is dodging is just as important as attacking. When you dodge in Bayonetta, you go into a thing called witch time, which slows everything down and means you can attack a lot quicker and more fiercely and cause more damage. But this mechanic is ingenious because it makes you feel great being able to dodge at just the right time and then retaliating. And to be honest, this is a mechanic I really like. I think it's fantastic. The Bayonetta 2's gameplay is roughly about the same as the first, which is about 10 hours plus, but this isn't collecting everything, that's just getting through the main story. It's greatly improved over the first game in my eyes, with good voice acting, although some really annoying voice acting, as this next clip will show you.
Not a clue, love.
Bayonetta 2 has been very high praised by reviewers, and I can easily see why. It's a very fun game with good story and simply beautiful graphics. I wouldn't say you need to play the first Bayonetta game to continue with the second, as it does the explanation at the very beginning of the game. However, you might want to try it out anyway, because it is a good game and a pretty decent series, and I'm just glad Nintendo paid the money to have this game made. I would definitely recommend picking up this game if you have a Wii U, because you're in for hours of fun, and if you're the kind of player who wants to test well, how good you are at the game, then there's different difficulties. Once you complete the game, you can choose, I think it's between 4 difficulties, but from what I've heard, the hardest difficulty is hard as balls, so just be prepared to try and not launch your expensive gamepad across the room, because that's how I felt when I was doing one of the harder levels. Anyway guys, that's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you want to leave me some feedback, just leave it in the comments below, and I'll see you again next time.
Let's dance, boys!